exactly. Did you not read the colony policy that defined you as company property? That wavers your say in autonomy. The conglomerates got you in lock and key. We are a family forged in bureaucracy. No I in team, but there's con in economy. Were you expecting adventure? Were you hoping for fun? My friend, you're indentured and pleasures exempt from your tenure, so venture back down to your slum. You should have read the fine print, my friend. Should have read the fine print. You should have read the fine print, my friend. Should have read the fine print.
Greetings and salutations, or welcome to Manapot Studios. I am your GM for the evening, Kyron Russmore. Pronouns are he, him. Where I am joined, as always, by the crew of the Fool's Gold in our Starfinder Adventure Path live play of All That Glitters Fly Free or Die, in a stream we call All That Glitters Explodes. I got there in the end. And introducing the crew, first of all, we have Flimsy.
Oh, I'm JStation64, playing Flimsy the Dwarf Mechanic, pronouns he, him. And Flimsy is regretting spending every last UPB on cattle storing equipment.
Hello, I am Kerfu Bernal, my pronouns are he, him, and I am playing Yeva, the Sarkeesian Witch Warper, whose pronouns are she, her. Yeva is, at the very least, glad that she was watching the... I don't know if she's glad. She was glad someone was watching the Diffrex herd when all hell broke loose within the Fool's Gold. Kind of worried, actually.
Yo, I am Cricket Missions. I'm playing Trix, Epic Space Pirate Extraordinaire. Pronouns are she, they. Trix, low-key, don't tell Flimsy, is still convinced Defrex can explode. Just naturally.
Ooh.
Because it makes for a cooler narrative.
I am Retro Ted. I play Jahir, who is a Katharth soldier, and I still read that even after all these weeks. And Jahir has still got his spurs on, and is I was going to say a hoedown, but that's wrong, isn't it? Like a rodeo, is it? What's the word for that bull run? Oh, a bull run. That was it. Yeah.
All three of those work.
Yeah. Put them together and make a set.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and before we get into the previous episode's recap, let's have Trix give this week's pack facts.
So this week's pack facts are on creature companions. So adventurers who traverse the vastness of space can acquire in their travels a creature companion, either by finding it out in the wilderness or by purchasing one from your local pet store, with whom you can stave off the loneliness of the void. However, when you obtain your new friend, you will need time to bond with it, which is achieved by survival checks of varying difficulty depending on its level, to prove your worthiness to your new fuzzy, slimy, or scaly overlord. Like players, your companion can level up with you. This requires you to pay credits equal to the cost of buying a new creature of the companion's new level, minus the cost of its previous level. So if you take Ixit the Prug, for example, Ixit was 100 credits to buy, is 500 credits to level, so paying a total of 400 credits to level it to level 2. If you are more than one level higher than your creature companion, it can gain multiple levels, each requiring the appropriate credit expenditure, until its level matches your own. Normally, a creature cannot gain more than one level in a week, with the exception being if you're giving it multiple levels in one go. Your cute companion / overlord can even accompany you in combat, at your own risk, of course, and there are feats one can take to improve its efficiency, and for the larger companions can even be ridden to battle, which I thought Jahir would find most interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So what kind of creatures can one acquire, I hear you ask? Well, first and unbiasedly, the best is of course the Prug, Trix's humble companion. Prugs are highly active shape and colour shifting oozes that enjoy mimicking small objects. They're mostly commonly bred as novelty pets. Xenobiologists disagree on how the oozes manage to so accurately duplicate details like colour and pattern without sight, and proogs tend to imprint on a single larger creature, and while naturally curious, they rarely stray farther from their owner than the range of their blind sight will allow. Some other examples are Tashtari, lovingly nicknamed laser wolves, which are covered in twinkling phosphorescent coats, which they can use to communicate or power their muzzle beams. You have the Vorak, which are tiny, eyeless, six-winged, crow-like creatures. And you have the Yasakaja, which are furred quadrupeds with 4 eyes, a fox-like tail, and enormous insectile mandibles. They are known for being sturdy mounts with great endurance and superb mobility. And thank you.
It's going to turn to Pokemon, isn't it?
I'll catch them all.
That last one sounded like it was for the indecisive adventurer who doesn't quite just know what they want out of a creature.
I want something furry, scaly, and...
What was that last one?
The Yasakaja.
Yes. How are we spelling that?
Yasa.
Yasa. I've not got an image. I feel gypped. I couldn't find the Proog either, under images.
Well, Proogs appear in Treasure Planet from Disney. You're so inclined to pull
that up. They've actually got a Starfinder image, and it kind of looks a little bit like the mimic from Prey, if anybody's been paying attention to my personal streams. It's just oozing out. It's 2 cups next to each other, and one is just oozing.
There's also a Proog image of an image of a Proog in the form of a bunny. A bunny ooze, if you will.
That was drawn for us by a fan of Manapot, right?
Yeah, it was. It was drawn for Paizo by a friend of Manapot, Beatrice Pelagati, who does some freelance work for Paizo.
Me.
So, can anybody remember where we started last week?
So we started.
We just
finished.
Sorry, go on, Jay.
Sorry. No, after you.
No, go on. You got more arms.
We'd rescued the fluffy furry thing from the pit, Defraxis, from a tar pit, who turned out to have babies. And hang on, why am I doing this? Is Kairo's job?
Because he's asking you to.
Because he's forgotten that he's getting you to.
No tricks. Don't give away all the GM secrets.
And then we herded them onto the spaceship. There was a disco. Some party snacks came out, cheese footballs, things like that. Then we went really fast everywhere, and then some aliens came along and gave us a big shiny new ship with guns everywhere.
This is why the GM doesn't allow the players to do the recap.
Trix remembers it happening that exact way.
I was thinking, wait, how far back is he going?
So the proper recap is, so the start of the last session, you were returning your vehicles to the Yeti Preserve. On the way back, you got attacked by an individual, a Noir, and their pet. Battle ensued. You took care of that. Somebody nearly ended up dying. I think that was Trix.
Yeah.
Vaguely. Almost, kind of.
You were one good hit away from being the flimsy of that combat. You rested up, got back to the ship, loaded the crew aboard, and also then decided to... you loaded the crew and the cattle aboard the Fool's Gold and went to go see your good doctor friend to have a look at Jahir, who had been spacing out a little when it came to combat any time that they tried to use their new and enhanced adrenal gland. After a brief operation, you discovered that it was defective in some regards, and Flimsy managed to figure out how to resolve the issue if too squeamish to resolve the issue themselves. With that, Jahir has been patched up, and you said back aboard the Fool's Gold, and are going to deliver the cargo. The 80, was it? How many defrects did you have?
90.
90. 90
89.
defrects.
Wow.
At last count.
Well, we had 90.
You had 90. There may be only 85 now.
Did they launch one
After
of the escape pods?
some of them seem to explode and that caused them to start stampeding over the ship. You all retreated into engineering, where Flimsy did a brief diagnostics and has found that the ship by the energy panels seems to be bleeding energy in 4 locations around the ship, but without the ship's computer, which is offline due to the power shortage, you don't know where. Also, defrexes have stampeded around the ship, so that might want to be resolved as well. And so, we find ourselves on board the Fool's Gold.
To double check, there's no way of getting the power up and running without sorting out or Flimsy would know there's no way of getting the power up without finding the issues first, the leaks first, and then resolve them.
Yeah, the power is there, it's just bleeding out in the wrong places.
So we can't get the computers online to check where those bleeds are.
Not at this time, no.
It's a cyclical problem. How useful.
How, well, useful it is for the GM, because otherwise I just tell you where the power problems were and yada, yada, yada.
Remotely shut it off.
Yeah, and sort out the problem without actually doing anything. And we don't want that. We want entertainment. One of the things is we do actually also have to keep track of time in this. So how do we want to go about this in terms of, do we want to roll for initiative and then you tell me what you're doing in order, or do you want to just go, down the list and tell me what things are doing?
Could we do it round by round and we all decide what we're doing that round, not necessarily in a specific order? Or is that going to take too long? Would you rather just do it in initiative order?
No, we can do that to a certain degree. What is everybody's ideas at the moment?
Trix plans to pick Flimsy's brain about how to identify these leaks, and then she's going to go help find the leaks and fix them, because she's also good at engineering.
Do we know, well, will Flimsy know, possibly Trix as well, where these potential caps would be? Like, because there are power-heavy rooms, aren't there? Like the hollow room, and there are power not very heavy rooms, I assume, like the bedroom. Would we know that it would be a power-heavy room?
You're not entirely sure, because while there's the bedrooms aren't very power-heavy, there are engines off the side of that, as well as some of it is going to be routed into the cargo hold, which, while normally on an average ship would not require all that much power, in this case, because of the hybrid nature of your null space cargo hold, it draws more power than it usually would. After that, you've no idea.
Flimsy, you said there are leaks?
I've identified that there are 4 leaks somewhere around the ship. If we can get to them and seal them.
Leaks of what again?
Power, I think. Is that power leaking?
It's not a literal leak. There
More like a
is
siphon.
Look for pools of power on the floor. That's where the leaks will be going.
Just touch it, you'll find it.
Are personal comms still working? Just a quick question.
Your personal comms are working, although there is brief moments of static across them.
Okay, well, I wouldn't even know what to do if I found one of them, but I can definitely use my eyes and look for them.
Maybe if we split into teams of two, Trix, you're handy with a wrench. Two of us go together. Someone come with me and someone go with Trix, and we'll search the rooms room by room.
I'm pretty sure we can hear like Defrex noises on the other side of the wall.
Yeah, there is diffrects that have basically scattered all over the ship.
Oh, I'm not
And
worried.
There's moans and growls and shouts and clawing and more growling going on.
But it's not like they're not like feral, right? I mean, they're wild.
But they are panicked. I mean, one or five of them did explode, so I can't imagine them being in the best of moods.
Eva, yeah, you saw them last. What were they?
You know what
What
would
would
have
they
been
look
really
like?
handy? Keeping some of those blood laws.
Funny you should say that. I didn't actually sell one. I've still got one. I was going to keep it as a trinket.
all right then. I think our expert, the Frex boy, might be in charge of herding them all back up together.
Well, I'll calm the animals and see what I can do. You know, if you think I need help, then so be it. But if Ye wants to go off one way and maybe get the power back on quicker, would that be better? Or...
I think we could either do what Flimsy said. You and I split up with Flimsy. One of us with Flimsy, one of us with Trix, and look for the leaks. Or Flimsy and Trix look for leaks, and you and I handle the Defrex.
Just, you know, I mean, you are literally covered in Defrex intestines at the moment. It's dripping off you. You might kind of spook them. Could you do something about that?
I think so. I think I have a spell for that.
Did you hear? It's called Eoxian Glam. Shush.
No, so she'll do. She'll like move her hands and token spell. Just all of it slides to the floor, and she's clean again.
Ew.
Flimsy, Yeva's just made a mess in engineering.
The goblins are in here. Flimsy's fully on board with there being a mess in here. As long as it's not going on the systems, it's fine. And the systems aren't working anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a point. Get the goblins to try and find some of the leaks.
And if we can get comms with Zorbin, maybe he can have a look as well. Just tell them to be careful about the wild creatures floating about.
Do the defects outside his door.
Probably have them go with the goblins.
I think we need to prioritize. I think, you know, obviously oxygen and life support for us and the animals, and then work down from there.
I was thinking nearest first, the workshop room, I think it is. To the side here.
I'll check Yeva's lab.
Right, so
Race ya.
who is going where and with whom?
Flimsy's going to try and check the workbench place that he went to fix his drill.
And Trix will be going the opposite side.
Right, everybody make one round of movement.
Jahir, where are you going?
I assume they were going east, so I was going to go west out of that room. Up to this door here. Poke my head out.
That is a point of like, what's the sight when the door's open?
Just cracks everywhere.
You just gotta climb over them.
Defrex so like milling around. You're going to be so like pushing past them and the rest of it. Let's not
Is it
worry
like
too
triples?
much.
We're going to open the door and loads of triples. Defracts fall out on top of us.
About that
Byron.
at the moment.
Make sure, keep the doors closed. Don't let them get into engineering.
Right, so Yeva, where are you going?
I was gonna follow Jahir.
All right, Jahir, where are you going?
I was heading up to the west side doors, if we're assuming the front of the ship is north.
And that's it.
I was going to open the door. I wasn't just going to walk straight out into the road. Stop, look, listen. That's not my first rodeo.
Okay, so Trix goes out and goes into the arcane laboratory. And you are met with things going on. I should have possibly opened up the pages.
Should we? This might be a good time to roll initiative, just to keep things ordered. I don't know if you feel the same.
Well, this is why I was asking everybody to make a full round of movement, and then I'd resolve what's happening.
Right. Whatever you need. I think
we'll do an
Jahir and I
initiative.
are
It's
just
going to
kind
be easier,
of.
I think.
Well, you're in an order. You know, it's Trix, Flimsy, Yaver, Jahir.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, we'll do that then.
Just do without rolling initiatives. So, as you enter the arcane laboratory, Trix, you see Panic and Wounded Defrex have sort of like ran into this area and knocked over a lot of the experiments that have been going. Yaver has been performing in this room, and there is just arcane energy arcing all over the show.
Oh, she's not going to be happy.
Maybe going some way towards draining the ship's power out in this area.
Where's the off switch? I don't know how to resolve mystical energy.
One of the things that you might want to do is try to sort of like calm and the Defrex and sort of like start moving them out of this room, because as you're sort of like stood there watching another one knocks another experiment, and it sends out the sparks of electricity that just start kicking up one of the Defrex into a new frenzy.
Oh, jeez. Okay, come on. Defrex. Come on. Follow Trix.
Can I have a survival check?
It's okay. 19.
19. Nice.
My cat actually responded to that.
Unfortunately, as you manage to coax one towards you, it nudges another experiment, and it just sends it into a new renewed frenzy, and this seems to be infectious amongst them all, and they just start clawing and gnawing at each other. Could you make me a reflex save?
$20.
Okay. And you don't take damage on a half, do you?
No.
No, okay. So you know, they start clawing in your direction as well, and you just manage to pirouette out of the way before you get raked across the chest by these claws.
Can I dodge and like jump on top of one of them?
It's a bit tricky while you're trying to calm them. You could give up on trying to calm them this round, and do that if you wish.
I'm just gonna try and false herd them.
All right, make me an acrobatics check.
23.
Okay, you have managed to mount one of the Defrex.
Woo!
All right, Flimsy.
Before looking at what Flimsy's going on, Eva, have you got skulls in that room? in that laboratory? What experiments are you doing over there?
I feel like those are actually Jahir's.
Makes perfect sense.
There's actually only two. One of them is Exit. Don't worry about it.
I feel what happens in the engineering bay is Flimsy's business. What happens in the arcane laboratory is Yeva's business.
And I've allowed Jahir to keep some of his trophies here.
What's the corridor like in between the engineering and what is this room, by the way?
It is a workshop
Workshop. Okay,
station
cool.
kind of thing. I can't remember. I'd have to.
We'll call it
Actually, I
workshop.
have it in the back of this book. 5 is a tech workshop. That's literally what it's called. And so as you creak the doors open, you see Diffrex have barged into this room, and there's 2 robotic arms that are just now swinging wildly, carving into the ship with these laser welders.
They've all been there. Do I know how to depower it?
You've got a couple of options. You could try and turn them off at the computer. But it's somehow still working. Don't ask me, please. Or you could try cutting the power off at the electronics, either a computers or an engineering. Your other option is just to try and rip one of the lasers out from its socket.
I
But
think
that'd be
Flimsy's probably
athletics.
gonna go for the more engineering you want and try and power it down if possible. Jump on the comms like, guys, it's the really annoying kind of power drain that only drains the things that we don't want it to drain. Working for other things.
Could you make me a reflex saving throw?
Reflex save.
Yep.
From Flimsy is a 17.
17. All right. Question mark?
17 is one of those ones that, is it a save? Is it not? You don't know.
You don't know, but the GM is rolling dice. Take 5 points of fire damage.
Ooh.
Rude.
As
Is
you
it the
manage
laser
to-
beams?
This is a laser beams. You manage to dodge out of the way of one, but you don't see the other one swinging across your path.
Deal with you later.
All right, make me a engineering check or computers.
Go for engineering and try and yank the power out. 29.
29 will do it. You manage to yank out the power, and one of the arms just deflates, as it were, and stops moving around rapidly as the laser turns off.
Does it give me the thumbs up as it goes down into the ground? Is this recognizably one of the leaks?
It is, but you've only taken care of one of the arms. The other
Okay,
is
cool.
still swinging around.
I'll report to the others. Like there's the arms are going crazy in here. I've got one down. At least that's one of the leaks located.
All right. Yeva, where are you heading off to?
She was gonna follow here into the hallway, but I think hearing Diffrex in the arcane lab, she might head over there.
All right.
Out of my room, guys.
Don't look, Yeva. Don't
No,
look.
what is going on in here?
Oh yeah, as you essentially double move into the room, you realize that, a lot of your experimentations is just arcane energy all over the show. Unfortunately, you're a little bit slower than Trix, and you're assessing it, and it's like you need to try to stabilize this. But you're not going to be able to do it, unfortunately, this turn.
Got it.
Jahir?
Jahir's going to move into the corridor and work his way towards the back of the ship, trying to round up and secure any diffracts that are there, checking all the side rooms, like the toilet and the elevator shaft.
Rightio. In the elevator shaft, you do actually see that the gravity isn't turned on in there. One of the things is if the elevator shaft was to have the gravity on while there's no power, there'd be no way of getting on up and down the stairs. So you can see that there's just defects sort of like floating there.
Oh my god.
Best thing I've ever seen.
They look serene.
And you get,
Have we?
the
Sorry.
corridors are filled with defects, and they seem to be reluctant in moving towards the cargo bay. Maybe that's where some of them exploded.
Well, I'm guessing that I would kind of see by their instincts that they're shying away. So I think I'd head down to see what the damage was, as it were.
Yep. All right, we're back at the top of the second round with Trix.
Trix is going to attempt to steer/herd them out of the arcane lab.
Right. But first of all, some of them are going to knock into some things, and let's have a look what happens. Can everybody make me Yether and Trix make me a fortitude saving throw?
Fortitude?
Oh, no! 12.
10.
12 and a 10. Unfortunately, as you're trying to do this trick, there is a blinding flash of light that both you and Yeva seem to look at, and you are now blinded.
What? How did they even get in here? Did they open the doors?
I think the doors opened on their own.
Oh, automatic doors.
Worst invention ever.
Lindy's going to reprogram to be humanoid only in the future.
Unfortunately, what Flimsy considers to be humanoid is 2 arms, 2 legs, and about 5 foot high, which matches none of the rest of the crew.
No, Trix might. No, Trix is slightly taller than 5 foot.
You get around fine, though.
All right, can you make me your survival check again this round to try and herd them out, although you are blinded, so this might be a little bit more tricky.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you want me to put any negatives in, but I suppose that's just affected the DC, right? Oh, 14.
14. You get some of them to cooperate, but there are some still going buck wild in this room. Knocking over so many of Yeva's experiments.
Fine, she can't see it, she can only hear it.
There's a shattering of crystal shoe.
Hearing is even worse. Now I can imagine how bad it truly is.
All right, Flimsy, you are up.
Can I try and wrestle the cable out of this other arm?
Yeah,
is there anything else going on in here? Is it filled with deflects or anything, or is it just...
There are deflects, but they're sort of trying to cower away and dodge out of the way of this laser as much as you. Which reminds me, there's a laser going around the room. I didn't mean to roll. Oh no, I didn't mean to roll that. You need to roll me a reflex saving throw.
I wasn't sure I was going to auto hit then. If you're going forward, you get it. Oh no, it's an 8.
Well,
it wasn't
all
auto
right.
hit.
Take a further 3 points of fire damage as also your clothes start to burn and you're on fire.
Oh, not this again.
At the room we hung the disco ball up in. Just to help out the laser.
Flimsy's going to ignore the flames. He's been in workshops before on fire. This isn't outside of the norm.
Yeah, it isn't a major burn.
And before patting himself out, he's going to try and yank this other cable out from the laser and try and maybe soothe the deflects as he does so. Don't worry, I've got it. Stay calm, stay calm.
All right, make me an engineering check, or computers.
Engineering.
Or athletics. You can yank it out of the wall.
To 26, Flimsy's not yanking a thing.
Yeah, you managed to sort of like dug down and get to the other power panel for the other arm and managed to unplug that, and this one also similarly wears down. And now that there's no more lasers dancing around the room, the diffracts seem to be getting calmer.
This is why we build switches.
Who needs switches? Just, lasers. They're always good until they're not. All right, Yather, what are you up to?
Yeva, grabs onto some of the nearby pedestals in here. And it's gonna move forward to and try and find the best place where she can reaching forward with her hands, try and find the best place where she can try and destabilize this arcane energy, or re-stabilize, I should say.
Yep. And you're more sensing this with your third eye than you are actually feeling around. Make me a mysticism check.
25.
Nice. Really need to review the DCs sometimes. And as you feel around, you start using your latent and magical powers to disperse this energy, turning some of the bigger build-ups into harmless, energies for your token spell, just refreshing the room with scents and, just trying to dissipate
strange liquids that have fallen.
Yeah. But for the moment you're blind, so you don't know how effective that was, but things seem to be stabilizing. And you're here. You are up.
Right, I'm just heading down this corridor. I'll go to 30 foot at the moment just to see if anything changes, my perception of anything changes.
No, not at the moment. There's defects in this corridor. The door to the cargo hold is shut.
Could I take another movement down to the door?
You can do.
Yeah,
They close it behind them.
Yeah, and locked it.
You're stepping into the cargo hall, or are you stepping up to the door, opening doors?
If I can open the door, yeah, I'd assumed I'd use up all my moves, actions.
Yeah, no, I'm freestyling this a little because it's not like we're not in combat, but I do need to keep track of rounds, so... you can open the door on a double move. All right, and now you're moving into the cargo hold. Most of the defects have evacuated this area.
Yeah, I'll just take a tentative step in.
All right.
Cue lots of reading by the DM.
Uh-oh.
Tentative step.
By the way, I think it's a swift action to open automatic doors on a starship.
Nice. Can you make me a fortitude saving throw?
I can. So the diffracts can open the doors just by walking up to them, but I have to physically open them. 17.
17 as there is a secondary explosion.
No, the defracts, leave them alone.
This one isn't a defrax. This is a rear airlock blowing out. As you are shunted forward, the doors slam behind you, and this room begins to depressurize. Take 10 points of damage.
Just fatigue though, not.
Yeah, it's fatigue first, then hit points.
Yeah. Wow. Do all the diffracts slowly start drifting out the back of the door?
Most of the diffracts have evacuated this area. Oh no. Gravity in the right. Okay, let me read this out loud. Gravity in the area immediately fails, so you're floating. Creatures who don't have activated environmental protections, including the defects, begin to suffocate. The door behind you is sealed because the ship has recognized that there's a decompression event going on, and it no longer has control of the airlock doors. Also, there are null space fluctuations going on as the dimensions are beginning to warp.
Neither me or Jahir knows what that means.
Well, that's your turn. You've got a moment to think on this. Trix, you are no longer blinded. The arcane energies seem to have settled, and with that, the defects have also begun to relax, as it were. Also, there was another explosion and maybe some screaming over the intercom. I don't know whether... Jahir, are you a screamer?
Well, it depends on the situation. This kind of situation, probably not.
Well, I didn't do it either way.
It would have been more like a mildly like, that's interesting.
I want to herd the defects out of the room.
Okay, make me a survival check.
I'm just leaning on... Do defects have horns? I forget. 12.
Now that everything's calm in here, they've started to settle, and they're looking around the arcane lab for food and some place to get cozy. And your coercion falls on deaf ears as there's just like, no, this room is safe now.
I'm just sat on top of every defect going, move.
And it's unfortunately not for moving. Flimsy, you are up.
Still smoking, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, you are still burning.
Yeah.
Take 1 point of damage.
Oh. Beard just starting to like frizzle away. Do they seem to have? Do the defects seem to have calmed now that the?
Yeah, the defects in this room are calmed. They don't seem to be after causing any more troubles.
And possibly more importantly, would I recognize that explosion to be what J-Station knows it was, as a starship mechanic?
Make me an engineering check.
Okie dokie. 17.
You recognize it was an explosion. It seems to be coming from the rear of the ship. You're not quite sure what it was.
Okie dokie.
Or the impact of it, more precisely.
You'll probably want to go check it out anyway. Like, the ship rumbling is not a great thing, and it's enough to dissuade him from going into the lift, which is where he's going to go next. Can he close the door behind him so the ones that are in there aren't going to kind of like wander into somewhere else?
Yeah, you can see other doors behind you if you wish.
Okay, cool. And then double move, which I think is that. Oh my god, it's only that. Okay.
You could run. Or is there too
running?
many defects for running?
There's too many defects for running, and also running has to be in a straight line unless you
Yeah.
have the feats for it.
Got it.
He's only got little feet. And maybe be afraid that door shouldn't be closed like that. That doesn't look right.
Yeah, there's little decompression warning lights going off as well. Make me a reflex saving throw.
Oh no. Here we go. It's an 11.
It's an 11. You are still on fire.
Oh, okay. I thought I literally had to use an action to get rid of that, so at least I get a slim chance of fixing it.
If you take an action to put yourself out, then you have a bonus to putting yourself out. Otherwise, at the end of your turn, you make a reflex saving throw and you may or may not be still on fire.
I love the image of just seeing like a small flame running through all these deflects, kind of like winding their way through the corridor. Just like a small trail of smoke just running through.
I just love the way that Flimsy is more concerned about the ship than this flame that is evidently burning you.
But yeah, he'll probably report to the others that I've sorted out the workroom, and one of the leaks. Something's gone wrong at the cargo bay. I'm heading down there now.
All right, Yeva, you are no longer blinded. Calm has been restored to the arcane lab, although it is still filled with defects.
But there's no more arcane leakage.
There's no more shenanigans going on in this room.
All right then. She'll follow after. Come like on the comm. She'll be like, headed your way, Flimsy. She's definitely not as fast as the others.
You'll probably get there before I do.
Well, she's right behind you, actually. And sees you're on fire. Flimsy, I don't know if you've noticed, but you're kind of burning.
Minor technical issue, bigger fish to fry.
All right. Looks concerned.
All right, Yeva. Not Yeva. Jahir. First of all, I roll one of these.
You roll 2 of them.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Radio. Make me a fortitude saving throw.
You got this, Jahir. Yeah.
22.
22. Okay. As you start to try to figure out what you're going to be doing in this room, an eddy of this null space fluctuation drifts towards you as your limbs start to stretch out in front of you, seemingly of their own accord, and your arms are far, far longer right now than you ever imagined they should be.
What?
But you do, unfortunately, take some damage because of this. For 5 points of damage.
Okay.
But otherwise, you're feeling a little bit queasy from all this.
I don't know. Can I do anything, or am I stuck in place?
You are not stuck in place. You are slowly beginning to suffocate, though.
I've got my EV suit on now.
You need to activate the environmental seals.
All right. Can I activate the environmental seals?
You have activated the environmental seals. You are no longer suffocating. That is most of your action this turn, however used up.
The standard action.
Yeah.
Could I assess how large the door hole is?
Make me a perception check.
Skills. Come on. I'll do this like every week. You think I'd know where it is? 18.
18. So there's two things going on here. One is the airlock. You're going to have to get over there and basically try to seal it back up so that this room can be repressurized. Mm-hmm. You've seen Flimsy do it with his engineering. You've seen Yeva do it with the touch of the computer panels. Shouldn't be that difficult. It's closing the door. You could just probably yank it into place. If that's how you wish. Engineering, computers, or athletics, but it is the other side of the room. Between you and it, there are a number of these null space fluctuation eddies going on as the room itself is compressing and stretching out in weird and wonderful ways. You know, you see a Defrex get caught up in one of this, and it not only becomes like a lot wider and bulkier, but it also gets squashed and is like half of its size as it sort of like moans and growls at this anomaly.
Fair enough.
Defrex.
That's frightening.
Yeah.
So that might also need to be resolved at some point.
So the hole is both doors then, like size-wise.
You're going to have to go across the room to resolve shutting those doors.
Is there a movement about moving in 0G? Is that can you move faster in 0G if you push yourself up or something like that? Or am I misremembering?
You can move. Okay, so yes, sorry. Thank you for raising this up. So, movement in 0G. You can either A, scramble along the floor, the ceiling, the walls, using, hand over hand. However, to do that in a controlled manner, it is at half your speed. You could, if you wish, essentially kick off the back door and float across the room. This is done at your full movement speed. However, you have to stop at the other side, which would take a acrobatics check, or bad things happen.
But can I actually move, or is that it?
Yeah, you can move. Your action was to seal up your suit.
Yeah.
But you've got your move action. You can either move half your speed, controlled, or your full speed, uncontrolled, as it were.
Okay. Just sorry for all the questions. Do I get a bonus because I've got more arms, especially long ones now?
No.
So much more leverage on the floor with the long arms.
The thing is, though, the long arms or the shorter arms, as other things will compress you in this room, don't really give you a bonus because you're not used to wielding them like that, and your forearms aren't going to grant you any bonus here, I'm afraid.
Okay. I'm just going to kick off from the wall and push myself across.
Okay, move your full speed across the room. All right. Oh, by the way, that's now uncontrolled. Next round, you're going to continue moving in that direction unless you manage to stop yourself. You're heading towards wide open doors.
It's fine.
You're going to want to stop yourself. All right. Trix, you are up.
Trix is going to look around. Do I think they're going to get spooked if I just leave them?
They look to be calm enough for now. You could herd them out of this room and an explosion happen in the corridor and they get spooked. Or you could leave them in here and an explosion happen and they'll get spooked. There are no guarantees right now.
Trix is just going to leave them where they be and head down to the bedrooms, that's what she thinks.
Is that your full movement?
It's most of it, but I want to check the top bedrooms and then I'll be working my way down.
Yep. All right. So you come around this corner and you meet Yadra and Flimsy. They're both sort of like panicking, looking at the rear cargo bay door.
Oh, cool. You shut one of the doors. Great.
No.
You open up a door and find that this doorway was not large enough for Defrex to squeeze through, and so the room is relatively undisturbed.
Oh, sweet. That is my full round, though.
Right, yep. Flimsy, you are up.
Flimsy running at full pace down this corridor throughout all the Defrex and seeing Trix run in between and just kind of like Quicksilver, just kind of going into the doors ahead of them as they're trying to run down.
First order of business, take 1 point of fire damage. You are still burning.
Flimsy is going to sprint all the way down to the door. I don't think it's a double move, so I don't think there's anything else they can do.
Make me a
leave it to
perception
Sheldon Hammond.
check to assess the situation.
Okay. Can I do an engineering check to assess the situation?
No, because you wasted most of your turn moving. I'm giving you a perception check as a generous GM that I am.
It's a 23, surprisingly. It's quite good.
Yeah, you've seen this before in some of the other edge ships. Standard safety protocol if a decompression event occurs, it seals. You're not getting through this door anytime soon.
Do I know if there's any means of bypassing the seals or anything, or
Go out
I
the
guess-
other airlock and seal it up from the other side.
so there's
There
nothing
is-
on this side that we could
There
do?
is no bypassing.
Stupid life-saving protocols.
But they're saving your life.
You hear? Are you okay?
Yeah.
You can probably see Jahir floating towards the void.
Just pirouetting.
Don't be fancy now, come on. Yeah, I guess all Flimsy can do is look out the window at this point, I guess.
Left a bit, right a bit.
Shout back to Yeeva and Trix, like, there's nothing we can do from this side. Maybe we get power back. Sorry.
No, yeah, the Europe. Other Flimsy, you can continue speaking.
How likely is it that he won't float out into space?
He needs to make me an acrobatics check to stop.
All right. Well, I'm right next to an airlock, so I'm just gonna open it up and jump out and fly over.
It's awesome.
You don't need to breathe, do you?
Not for
In the void.
at least 3 hours now that we're level 3.
Yeah, so yeah, you don't have to worry about sealing your suit or anything.
So I guess we'll swift action open this door, move here, and then standard action open the next door so that she's at least can jump out on her next turn.
Yep.
Just in case he doesn't make it. She can
So
fly
yeah,
faster.
issue.
She can fly faster than he's moving right now. She can catch him.
Yeah, he should be okay. It's just physics. It might have to come into play on this one. So yeah, you've popped open one door, you've moved up, and you've opened the outer door. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so the inner door is also now sealed without bypass until the outer door is shut.
Right. But this one's not malfunctioning, right?
Yeah, it's not malfunctioning as long as you remember to close it on your way out.
All
Other
right.
people can use this, or else it requires Flimsy to do some engineering doohickey to close the outer door from the inside.
She can swift action close it on her way out next turn.
Yeah. All right. Jahir, you are floating towards the void. I'm currently trying to find, if anybody wants to look it up, the DC for what Jahir needs to hit in order to stop himself floating.
I just had it open actually. Environmental
Nice.
rules. Acrobatics DC 20 to safely stop its movement. Failure means that the creature gains the off-kilter condition.
I've got it, 402. Here we go. Moving in 0G.
But that's if it runs into a solid object.
Yeah, so I'm adapting this slightly, so he's going to need to do 0G acrobatics to try to align himself so that he can grab hold of something.
Got it.
on his way out. If he misses the AC, if he misses the DC, then he's going to continue floating out the airlock.
Okay.
Luckily,
no,
his
no.
suit.
So no stress.
No pressure. No pressure. I'm also going to reduce the AC of the difficulty by 5 because you're fully enclosed. You got the ceiling, you got the floors, you got the walls, you got deflects. You've got a reasonable chance of grabbing hold of something to stop your movement. Do you hear? Make me a very important acrobatics check.
Definitely acrobatics, not athletics.
Yeah, it's definitely acrobatics, not athletics. You can't
Okay.
muscle your way into this.
Natural 20 for
There
a
you
25. He's just showboating this now. He's got his hands behind his head, just casually swimming, doing a back kick.
All right. As you're moving up, you manage to brace yourself at the back door where you need to be. But could you make me a fortitude saving throw?
Yeah. Okay. Is a 10.
Unfortunately, now that you've moved from one eddy to another, all your bones suddenly just get compressed in on themselves after being stretched out. You take 10 points of damage, and you also now have the entangled condition. Not entirely sure what that's going to do to you now that you're no longer need to move, but hey ho. So that's your movement sorted out. That's the effects of the null space fluctuation sorted out. Right. The character can reset the airlock by performing a successful athletic, computers, or engineering check.
I can drag it shut or help it shut with the computer.
Or
Athletics.
weld
isn't
it shut with the engineering, I don't know. But yeah, it's your choice.
I'm guessing it's like 2 full-size doors. Like it's like I can't just stick my bum in it or something. It's not like a football size.
No, this is, all the air is currently rushing out of there as well.
Right, so was it?
It was big enough for you to fly through, I guess. There's nothing you've got that's gonna fly.
It's just like a cat, like trying not to get pushed in. I'm gonna do what was it? Acrobatics or athletics?
No, athletics, computers, or engineering.
Right, I'm gonna go for an athletics or acrobathletics, as I called it as some name.
He's got the power.
17.
17. Unfortunately, the explosion has jarred the door. You know how sliding doors tend to be on rails. The explosion has jilted it and knocked it off the rail, and you're not able to seal the door this turn.
Okay. Right. Well, I look good doing it. So.
Yeah, you're looking good. It possibly also doesn't help that your limbs have been stretched somewhat. Trix, you are up.
So, Trix thinks that the energy siphons are likely to be caused in rooms where deflects can get into.
Reasonable assumption. Just an FYI, there is an upstairs.
Yes, which is currently out of order, but she is going to go to the in here.
Yep. And it's out of order in that there isn't a automatic elevator function, but gravity is also turned off in this area. You begin to float as you step into the room.
Oh. Alls. Trix is going to use her action to double move up to the second floor.
You're kicking off, or are
Yes.
you a
Trix
hand
is
over
kicking
fist?
off.
All right, you kick off and you manage to get upstairs in double quick time. Could you make me an athletics check to stop before you hit the back wall?
Why athletics?
Acrobatics,
I am the
sorry.
reverse Jahir.
It's acrobatics, not athletics. He's got bleeding me doing it now.
24 that would be then.
24. Yeah, you pirouette in the air and stand on the ceiling, walk forward. The gravity kicks back in, and as it does, you cartwheel out of the elevator shaft and upstairs.
Just contact everyone on the console. Yo, guys, I just nailed it.
I wish we could have seen it.
No context, just nailed it.
Right. So now we need to play with 2 maps at the same time.
Yay!
No, that's you. That tricks. There we
I don't
go.
know, mix up our breakfast table.
No, not the breakfast table. Nearly said the Brexit table.
The
then.
Brexit table.
Well, at least that was clear. And there's defects in here. Someone munching on the food that's in the cupboards. Zobin is going to be a little bit disappointed in all of that. You also see Prug sort of like sat amongst the dishes, just sort of like flailing around and batting anything that comes near, trying to protect the cutlery for some reason.
Cool. Well, that's my action.
How much movement did you have left?
Well, it was my full move to get into the room, and then I used my action to move again, so I had 50 feet.
Okay, you might have a couple of feet spare if you wanted to move it a little around upstairs, but there doesn't seem to be anything major going on upstairs.
I'm
in this
check
room.
the hollow deck.
Yep, you're going to check
That's
the
where
hole.
she's gonna go towards.
Yep. All right, Flimsy, you are up.
Looking at Jahir with a big like, whew, as they managed to not launch themselves out into space. Is there anything that I can do on this side to like release the valves and make it easier to do that check, or is there literally nothing on this side that I can do?
There's nothing you can do from this side. You could let Yeva know that Jahir didn't float out into space.
Yeah, that is part of the plan. Flimsy will kind of. So, does it look like this is where one of the leaks is, by the way, or does it look like this is just another terrible thing that's happened?
This looks to be one of the leaks. The null space fluctuations is gonna have to be resolved, but you can't get in there to resolve that until you can get through this door.
Yeah.
You guys really did decide to split the party.
It's
Flimsy's
working out,
gonna-
sort of.
It is, yeah. He's got the arcane laboratory, the workshop. Trix has got the holodeck. I can't get in here right now. The bridge. Oh no, the bridge! I'm so far away. I'm going to start running towards the bridge if they can do. If you can get that far. And also tell Yeva along the way. Yeva, Jahir did some sort of fancy spin. They're fine. They're not being jetted into outer space, but it's up to you. You can go out and help them.
The null space portion, it's charged in part by the rune on the outside of the ship, right?
It is.
Do you think I could manipulate it from out there, or would I need to be inside the cargo hold to really tap into those energies?
Maybe a mysticism check.
Yes, please.
You get the feeling from the outside you're going to be able to manipulate it a little, but it might be tricky not being able to see what effects what effect you're having and what effects you're trying to counter from the outside.
It might be
So-
harder.
Yeah, it's going to be harder from the outside, but it is possible.
I mean, see, if I go this way, I wouldn't be able to even. I mean, I can't get in yet. But if I come out here, I can at least move my 60 feet flying and make a attempt today. Like in this turn, I mean. So that's what she's gonna do, because I never want to give up on a chance of flying in space anyway. So she pops out, swift action, shuts the door behind her, and then we'll fly 60 feet around the ship here to get a look at the rune on the side of the ship, and see if she can't tap into it. Because yeah, she doesn't know what's going on in there, but she wants to at least double check that nothing's been tampered with out here.
Yeah, nothing's been tampered with, but you can see some of the eddies phasing through the outside of the ship, and this ruin is on the top side of the center back of the ship, as it were. So you're gonna have to go over there and try to manipulate the energies from there.
Oh, the center back over by the airlock.
Yeah. 1 second. You need to be there outside, if you know what I mean.
Oh, on top of the ship.
Yes.
Okay. I'll fly up next turn, then I can move 60 feet, so it shouldn't be too bad.
Radio.
All right.
All right.
Super cool approach to that.
Just doing some paperwork that we forgot, Flimsy is still on fire. He took a further 2 points of fire damage, and could you make me another reflex saving throw to see if you went out this time?
I did, I think, didn't I?
No, you gave me 1 for last round, which I forgot about.
Oh, okay, here's another one then. Oh, it's 24.
And because you've started sprinting in the opposite direction, the breeze flowing through your beard has finally put out that fire, and you are no longer burning.
I'm sure Flimsy would barely notice.
Yep. All right, Jahir, you're up. You're still at the back door. Are you gonna try to?
I am. Gonna give the door a swift kick in the right place, try and get it back on the runners.
All right,
and then try and slam it again. Maybe
another athletics check. Computers and engineering are still open and viable possibilities.
That is an 11.
That is
even with 11. A +9. That's an 11.
Yeah, you give it a good kick, and you think that you got it back on the rails, but as you try and pull it, it starts grinding metal on metal. It's not for budging. All right, Trix, you are up.
Going into the holodeck.
All right, as you enter the holodeck, make me a culture check. Oh, are you trained in culture? Sorry.
I am.
Oh, good. I've reread this here. It's not a culture check. It's if a character is trained in culture, they immediately recognize a holographic series playing out before you as a popular children's trivid, Skitter Soldiers, New Friends of Destruction.
Play that.
Oh man, I love this show.
As it is a combat simulator with 3 Skidamander commandos and a Vesk warrior, all who are currently, as you are entering the room, fighting with Defrex. As you enter, the holograms turn away from the animals and start to focus on you.
Yeah, sweet. How do I turn it off?
You can, if you so desire, do a computer's check to try to reprogram and terminate the simulation. A mysticism check to dispel the arcane energies of this room, which are giving the holograms a little bit more life, or you can fight back. But as they turn to you, they do shoot you for a 23 to hit.
No, the holograms are mean.
The
Yeah, I love
holograms,
Safeties are off.
the safeties are indeed off as you get slammed for 7 points of piercing damage.
This is the absolute classic hologram gone wrong.
It
They've got
is.
a
It
little
was-
bit of magical life got into them.
Yeah, they've gone from soft light to hard light holograms, and they're just killing people now. It's cliche, but you know, how is Trix going to resolve it? That might not be the cliche thing.
I mean, like, I would turn it off with computers, but she's just gonna pull out a gun and shoot.
Is Trix shooting Skittermander children's TV characters? Is
Yeah.
is that what we're seeing here?
I can pretend I'm my own OC, which is just me. Yeah.
All right, make me an attack roll. That is indeed a hit.
Oh, thank God. For 5 points of damage.
All right, and you manage to wound one of the Skittermanders, and it's all like it's going for the over dramatic. It's all like now laying on the ground, clutching at a wound, giving this dramatic speech about how, you know, they miss their wife and children or something like that. I don't know. I don't watch them kind of movies.
Oh, I'm intrigued. Go on.
Yes, bow down before your new overlord, the mighty space pirate Trix.
Good question. Did you leave your comms on or
Yeah.
flimsy?
That's just Trix speaking to the defects, I would assume. Flim's going to continue. He's going to try to see if he can make it to the. Why is that not working?
Why are you not locked? There we
There
go.
we go.
You should now be locked.
See if he can make it to the. Oh, I cannot make it to the bridge in time. To see if he can just check on the bridge to make sure there's not another leak in there.
Yep. The defracts as well as your shot limbs are making it hard work getting around this ship.
Excuse me, coming through. Out the way.
Yather, you are up.
She will fly up. So like, let's say she moves 60 feet down this way and 30 feet up and around the ship.
Yeah, you could be within range of the glyphs by the time at the end of the 60 minutes.
So she flutters up there and sees the glyphs and will reach out her hands, and like her third eye under her cyan fringe starts to glow iridescent. And I guess we'll try and calm the null space.
Yep, so you're gonna need to make me a mysticism check.
Come on, she's been studying the runes. No, that's a 17.
Yeah, unfortunately, you've been studying the runes, but with the explosions, some are marred and misshaped, and you're now rapidly trying to recall how to sort of like put them back into the correct configuration, but it's just not coming to mind right now.
Oh no, I'm not trained at all to handle this cutting edge technology.
Was that meant to be a pun about edge technology?
No, but I like it.
The rune shimmers when you say the word edge. Kind of.
Ah! They're listening.
It knows.
All right, Jahir, you are up. Make me a fortitude saving throw, and let's see if you're stretched or squashed.
That is a 11.
You are being stretched back out again, and after the rapid fluctuations of being stretched and squashed and stretched again, you take a further 6 points of damage.
Nice, and not with Jahir today.
I'm going to go for one more, trying to get this blooming door shut.
Yep. With an athletics?
Yeah, why not? A natural 1 for a 10.
As you boot it again, you accidentally do it with the tips of your toes and stub your toe on the outer door as you're trying to boot it back onto the rails properly. And you're now sort of like in pain as you're trying to get this.
More pain.
Unfortunately, it's all like as you look around the room to see if you can find anything to lever this into position, another one of these defrects explodes, and 4 other defrects go limp around as they are succumbing to the suffocation. Trix, you're exchanging gunfire with the hardlight holograms. They shoot at you for 26.
Stop hitting me.
No. Make me.
Who trained these TV characters?
Some board programmer.
For a 3 points of piercing damage.
Hark, foul heroes, you think you can defeat me? I'm gonna go barrel rolling.
Are you breaking out trick attacks?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, for 15, which is gonna be a fail.
Yeah, unfortunately, they are in their own domain here. They know the set, as it were, like the back of their hands, and predict your movements, but they don't predict the shot in the face.
Yeah.
So, on a 19, that is a distinct hit.
For 4 points of damage. Pitiful little skittermanders.
You wound me. You wound me. Flimsy.
Flimsy, no longer a flame, is going to go rushing into the bridge. I think J Station has calculated that there shouldn't be anything in here, but I mean, what else is Flimsy going to do? He can't open the door. He's going to go in and have a look.
Yeah, you move up to the bridge, and in here there is a moment of tranquility where everything seems to be in order. There's defects moving around the bridge. Sits in one of the chairs, but otherwise doesn't really seem to be all that fussed by what's going on.
You got this? To the defects. Right, okay. Is everything unpowered in here?
Yeah, the lights are dimmed, the control panels are offline.
There's nothing I can do from a technical perspective to help here.
No.
I guess I'll just have to run back down and hope I can help Jahir in some way.
You could go outside and spacewalk it, but with your movement speed, you might just arrive in time to see him shut the door in your face.
That was it, because where Flimsy was, it was like by the time I got to space, it would be quick, just as much time to get to the bridge. So I might as well go to the bridge and check out. But I might go and see how Trix is getting on in that case. So does stopping my movement stop that first level of movement? Okay, cool.
Not as long as you're not doing too much else. These aren't really combat rounds, so I'm not being too strict on the rules now.
Like, Flimsy can get there. He runs past the bridge, gives a quick nod to the defects at the command console. And, Trix, I'm coming to help.
So number one, you have the bridge as you leave. Right, Yather is up on the surface of the ship. surfing along as these null space eddies sort of like warp in and out of the shell of a ship, largely not having an effect on you. But you need to make me
Pacisticism.
mysticism checks.
She will persist in her mysticism. And, like her wings are kind of fluttering and like letting off this golden energy, and then with her hands out, just focusing really hard. There we go, 26.
Ooh, that one teased. That one did tease. And yeah, you finally. You don't quite remember how the runes are supposed to be, but then all of a sudden you have this moment of inspiration, and it's like, no, if that is tracking through there, then it needs to be diverted to here, and you use your mystical energies to sort of like retrace some of the runes, and the eddies seem to dissipate from the outside of the hull. Jahir, the eddies within inside of the hull seem to dissipate as well as your limbs return back to normality.
She's like more feeling through it, and then she's gonna use her move action to fly back down, so another 30 feet down and 30 feet over towards the aft of the ship. Come around the side. The back.
All right, and Jahir, at the back doors, are you going to give us another athletics, or are you going to switch on to maybe a computers or engineering?
Yeah, I'm gonna try and do some push and button things.
You're feeling a lot better now. Your limbs seem to be about the right length, at least.
So he's gonna swish over to the control panel and boop it for a 12. So no.
No, that's not enough for the computers, I'm afraid. This door is defining you somewhat, and would not be surprised if Jahir starts to go towards percussive maintenance. Trix, you are up.
Aha! Soon you will rule the day as my reinforcements are on the way.
As they shoot you in the face for a 24 to hit.
That'll hit.
For 8 points of piercing damage. No, it is you who shall rule the day. But you ever
Go on.
decided to cross swords with the new friends? I don't know.
I will allow your monologue, for I am a villain who also monologues. I'm gonna springboard off the desk, kind of like jump behind them and try to shoot them in the back.
All right, make me a acrobatics.
Yeah, 28.
That'll do it. You
Yes.
catch the Vesk by surprise, and he's a little bit taller, but you manage to just jab him in the back of the knee, and he goes down for the perfect springboard.
A 14 hit?
For a 14, it does indeed hit.
Oh. Wata. For minimum damage, 4 points of damage.
That's rough.
Yeah, but it
Oh,
looked cool.
It did look cool as you saw like rain laser fire down on them as you catapulted yourself over. Flimsy, you are up.
Listening to maybe hearing other voices on the comm from Trix. Who's up there with you, Trix? I'm coming, hold on.
It's the new friends.
All right, as you enter, are you clamoring or are you kicking off?
Flimsy's going to kick off.
Yes, Flimsy.
All right, because of your low movement speed, you're not going to get upstairs this round, but remind me to have the next round. You're floating up.
Yep. Away we go.
All right, Yeva, you are up.
So both of these doors are okay. So she's gonna finish flying here, and then another Yeah, so she's got enough, actually 20 feet of. Must be what it's like to be like Trix. So fast. She'll come. But this door is open as well, right?
Yeah, both doors are open, and you can see cleanly into it. You know, you can see Jahir there, struggling with closing
She's
the
gonna
unit
move
door.
into the airlock, and then turn, and I guess try and shut this door, this outer door, because at least then we can get some pressure back in here.
You're working on different doors.
Or no, maybe I will help him. I will aid him on the athletics check here because she can't do computers or engineering either.
Okay, make me your athletics check.
Nor can she do athletics, but at least she's hoping she can aid. 11. That's an aid.
That is an aid. Jahir, if you go back to your athletics, you'll get a +2 bonus.
With my -2.
The thing is, you can see the issue from this side. It's like Jahir's trying to be kicking it back onto the rails, but he's kicked it a little bit too far. You just kind of nudge it back into place from your side. Mm-hmm. All right, Jahir.
We're going to go for it with a +11 now. Is a 27.
With that, you've managed to sink the doors into place, and they effortlessly pretty much come slamming shut. Yaver's on the outside, but you're not too worried. They're used to, 0G and the rest of it. They'll
She's
be
got
fine. Yeah. And you have brought the cargo bay back into sealed, and pressure immediately starts to fill as the ship systems begin to reoxygenate the area. The defects breathe a sigh of relief.
The ones that aren't dead.
Apart from the ones that are dead, they just slump to the ground. Dead. Is there anything else you wanted to do with your turn, Jahir? Sorry.
No, I think I'll just stay there for a second.
Catch your breath.
Yeah.
In a spacesuit which wasn't depressurized. Anyway, Trix, you're up.
Yeah. Are they gonna shoot me first?
Oh yeah, they'll shoot you first. Die, you foul fiend! Ooh, 15 to hit.
Oh no!
As these bullets just whiz past you.
She's kind of Matrix, slow-mo dodge and then just turn on them. 23.
That is a success.
I actually managed to cock the dice in Fantasy Grounds, and I was very impressed with myself.
Mine cocked as well, and it was like, what are you doing, dice? Yeah.
That's a 22 to hit.
I was going to say, why are you rolling a d20 again? No, you do still have to hit. That is indeed a hit.
Do still have to hit for a couple more levels. 11 points of damage.
And with that, as you're dodging out of the way, you spring back up and just in a blur of arms everywhere, you very cleanly put holes in the rest of the holograms, and the entire scene starts to dissolve in front of you.
As it does, as the particles dissolve, I just stand there going, ah!
All right. And Flimsy, you are hurtling towards the ceiling.
Yes.
Make me an acrobatics check.
Here we go. Wait, is it DC 20, did we say?
It's a DC 20.
Well, there's a 0. Just not the 2.
As you just slam into the ceiling, wondering how it is that Trix manages to do all of that stuff with gravity. You just go limp slightly as the ship's systems start to come back alive.
Oh yeah, they would too.
Everything seems to be resolving themselves.
We've got systems, guys.
Everyone okay? Tricks?
Yeah, I'm great.
If you say so.
Who are you talking to, Trix?
The new friend squad. I destroyed them all.
Should we try and get these creatures back into the hold?
So yeah,
Should we-
over the next couple of hours, you manage to herd the defects back into the cargo hold. As things start getting back to normal, some of the defects start to moan and seem to be rather uncomfortable until they start dry heaving, and a few of them start spewing up this gray granular powder.
The hell is that?
What? Is that,
They're just gallstones.
Poke it with a screwdriver? Has Flimsy seen this before?
Slightly magnetic.
Oh,
There are-
probably not.
Some now attached to the head of your screwdriver.
What?
I've not seen this when I've moved animals before.
Is this life science or physical science?
This would be, if you're examining it, it would be engineering or mysticism.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, she's curious.
Want an engineering as well?
24 mysticism.
Give me the engineering as well.
22.
You do. Between you, you manage to identify them as nanites with explosive properties that seem to have been pre-programmed to sort of like clump together, and when in high enough concentrations, while active, will explode.
How in the nine hells did nanites get inside of our defracts?
These were just random defects that we found, unless somebody on board has done something to feed them.
Well, we did leave them alone to go find that defects in the swamp, and we also did leave them alone kinda when we went to make sure Jahir was okay. So either the goblins did it, or we've been sabotaged by, you know, the noir dude.
Could have been the bounty hunter.
That's true. He had the jump on us, so he could have gotten to the ship.
You'd
Goblin
need to
didn't mention
do
nothing. So go.
further analysis for anything more concrete evidence-wise.
Would I know from my background as a soldier if this was a common practice for a certain kind of race, or
Make me a profession check.
the mercenary profession?
Yes.
It's a 16.
It's used for logistics and sort of like food disruption techniques. It's fairly much a guerrilla tactic to try and disrupt and demoralize people, you know, deny them their food, deny them their animals in a rather gruesome way. It's not uncommon for mercenary groups, outfits, but there's no one main perpetrator of them. Although this level of tech does seem to suggest that it's somebody rather well funded.
Only about
Oh,
half of our enemies.
I think it was Mr. Spudsy showing his upset about us leaving him.
Really,
No.
we're wanted by about 3 different companies, and you choose Mr. Spudsy the Defrex.
He was pretty cut up about it.
He did
Sorry,
seem sad,
Defrax.
How many Defrex do we have left?
Yeah.
You have 80 left.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's all right.
We just lost 10.
We're
Confirms
still
the-
ahead. Get it? Ba-dum.
So many creatures have died, Trix. Come on. Exploded before our eyes. Yeah, can Flimsy check over the remaining creatures to make sure none of them are ticking, or go over them with a magnet to see if anything comes out?
You make me a life science check. Or
Is it? If it's anything like other animals, they're just going to start eating the other one's sick. That's what our dogs do.
Oh,
Yeah, but dogs eat their own poop as well, so there's
Yeah,
that.
they do.
Back to this life science check. It seems to, they don't appear to be ticking. They don't appear to be having any other ill effects at this
Okay.
stage.
So we're reasonably confident that they're not going to explode again, hopefully. At least whilst we're on the ship. They can explode all they want on the ranch.
Yeah, you get the feeling that, especially seeing as though this was it was a timed attack to a certain degree, and now that the time has expired, the nanites have become inert and thus are no longer a threat.
Ooh, should we
We
check
work
the
out-
scanners? Sorry, go on.
I was going to say, could we work out when they were armed, if that makes sense, from what? Is it like a countdown or some kind of way of calculating approximately when they were armed?
You'd need to hook them up to the tech lab and try to analyze them from there.
Flimsy, I'll grab a big bundle of these, shove them all together in a basket, and bring them down to your tech lab.
I'll give it a go.
I'd like to help you with that if you don't mind.
Oh, yeah, feel free. As much as I love poking my way through Defrax goop, yeah, any help would be appreciated.
It'd just be nice not to be on the back foot for once.
New experiences?
Kidoki, make me engineering and or computer checks.
I'll go with engineering.
I will go for computers. We're going to hack the nanites. It's a 13 from Flimsy.
It's a 24 from Trix.
As you begin examining them, your assumptions are right in terms of, yes, they were on a limited timer. It was just waiting for the expected saturation amount before some of them exploded. Now that they are inert, they shouldn't cause you any other problems. What other questions did we have? Oh, they were likely to be activated well in advance, depending on how they are stored. So basically, if they're stored in a formation where they're not likely to explode, then they're totally inert, and you can keep them that way indefinitely from prior to or just past construction. They can be active. It's only when they start to clump up do they start to explode. So they could have been active for quite some time. But again, that suggests that the tools required for transportation and deployment have to be rather sophisticated. Tricks. As you're examining these, you see an etching on the side of one of the nanites. It's very tiny writing, but as you twist it over in the microscope, you can see that it is an embossment of 2 letters, EJ.
Fucking edge core.
I didn't know they had this kind of technology.
No, considering the rubbish they had us driving around in for however long.
They must really hate defracts.
I'm gonna go to the bridge just to double check that we haven't lost too much time. I don't know if we slowed down or we stopped flying during all that.
We went dead in the water.
So if I
But you're in space, so you keep flying in the same direction.
Mm.
You couldn't make any course corrections during that time, but you just continue going along at the same speed.
Right. So hopefully,
Trixie's going to have to make some adjustments, but nothing
okay.
major time-wise.
And nothing on the scanners if it wasn't a timed attack as a prelude to it.
Make me a computer check.
Scanners away. The 19.
Scanners seem clear.
Well, this has been quite the eventful haulage.
Well, I definitely need to recover. I took quite a bit of an impact in that airlock. Have we got long till we make landfall?
You've got the rest of the day. You've got at least 10 minutes if you want to recover your stamina, folks. Trix, you're likely to jump back into the pilot seat to make the corrections needed because you were floating for a while. I mean, the entire thing played out in less than a minute, so your response was fairly rapid. But at the same token, it's taking a little while to get everything back under control. Defrex is back into the hole. Flimsy, you're probably going to be spending most of the rest of the trip buffing out the ship, as usual.
Jahir, you should probably rest up. But your arms look a little bit longer. That one looks shorter than usual.
Yeah, it was those bubble things. It was weird. It was, I don't know. They were long. They were short. The defracts were all over the place. It was quite entertaining. Obviously, it was painful. With the bone crushing and all that. But it's an experience. I've never had that one before.
I was a little bit worried you get sucked out into space. I'm sorry I couldn't come to help, but all the safety measures in place don't seem to be helpful for you in that situation, unfortunately.
Oh, it's okay. I saw you waving at the window. Oh, I did wave back. Well, I tried to wave back. My hand was in null space at the time.
Oh, I thought I'd offended you in some way with that gesture. That makes much more sense. I see now.
No, we're all good. I think my limbs are okay. Nothing a bit of limbering and yoga maybe.
Flimsy's going to maybe eye one of your arms, kind of looking at it confusedly before leaving to go and buff out so many things that have been described as happening to the ship, let alone the 2 explosions in the cargo bay.
Should we check on Zobin, or is he still in his room?
Zobin is in his room. He spent the entire time cowering, getting flashbacks to the war and the explosions during the war.
Completely forgot about them and the goblins during that event. They're usually better out of the situation.
So don't worry about it. It was just exploding defrex poop. Nothing to worry about.
Just a herd of rampant beasts running through the ship.
Why was it exploding?
That's what defrex poop does.
I've not heard of that one before, but okay.
The defracts did raid your cupboard, but there's some fresh meat dotted around the ship if you want to rustle something up.
Oh, that's a point.
Defrex burgers.
Grilled.
Partially char-grilled already.
Well, I'm sure the inside's still a little raw.
Nice.
It's rare.
So yeah, over the course of the next few hours, you go all about your business, resting, relaxing, buffing out the ship, trying to sort out your arcane lab again.
It's a mess.
Some of these crystals are going to have to be replaced. That's going to be very expensive or time consuming. You're not too happy about that. Trix, you've had an eventful day and you're just having fun now at the piloting seats. Trying to make the most of the engines. Who's going out to shut the back door, by the way?
I'd assume Java would have done that when she went back around to come in.
Does it need to be a check again?
It would need to be checked, either engineering, computers, or athletics.
That's not me.
We could run it depressurized though, couldn't we? There's no...
You can really
Force
depressurize and flimsy can go out there when you've landed, but it is going to need to be taken care of before you can get the defects off the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll do that when we land, maybe.
You're not risking
on the ship at the moment.
You're not risking that spacewalk to take care of it.
Just make sure the inner door is actually locked and can't be hacked in case something flies in while we're in space.
It's I imagine it's kind of like the metal has been crunched into like shape where Jahir's fists of fury have closed it. Rend it closed.
Gosh, in all the time I spent on a ship, I never realized that you have to pull them shut, not push them shut. Sorry, it took me so long.
And we eventually arrive at Vesk 3 and arrive at Skitter Haven and Ranch, where you receive your flight plan to land in a relatively open field where the herd can be put out to pasture. Adjoining that field, there is a barn that looks like a relatively new construction.
Have we been on the comms to the names?
Radini and Khan?
Calm, that's the one I remembered, yeah.
Yeah, they're the ones who gave you the landing instructions.
Oh, okay, cool.
I mean,
Flimsy's going to be... Sorry, go on.
I can look after the animals if you want to take a look at that airlock, Flimsy.
Yeah, as Flimsy's going to be sorting out the exploded doorways of the attached to a null space chamber, which I'm sure is a completely straightforward fix. Not at all complicated.
You fix my adrenal gland, I'm sure you can work out a door.
Trix is just gonna chill on the makeshift fence we've set up for the defracts.
Like a straw in mouth. Yeah.
Straw in mouth, you know, she's got a cowpoke outfit back on.
And as you sort of like start, Flimsy, you eventually manage to get the door sorted, and you open up the doors, and the defrex starts streaming out of the ship and into the field beyond. Calm and Idani approach, and it's like, greetings. It seems like your trip was a little bit more eventful.
I mean, only a little bit. Only a little bit.
How did it go?
We got 80 heads of deflex for you.
Good. It should be quite sufficient to be able to herd them and breed them and raise them as cattle. I'll get to the people working on that as soon as possible. And as you can see, we built them a new barn.
It looks great.
Would it be twice the size of our cargo base, since our cargo base is technically twice the size that it looks, if that makes sense?
Judging by your professional opinion, it's more likely to be more for birthing areas or sick defects. Most of the time, they will just stay outside. Potentially, they'll have to build additional barns if they ever need to bring them inside, but at this time of the year, and especially being defects, they're rather resilient anyway.
it probably occurs to Flimsy that he has to keep calm and Adani, a little bit distracted maybe whilst we're unloading the cargo, since it's going to have that slight TARDIS effect of there are more defrects coming out of this hold than would seem possible.
You don't really need to keep them that much distracted there. It's all like, interacting with the defrects as you're unloading them, and they're more interested in your animals than they are in your ship.
Okay.
Yeah, still want to make sure they don't see, the 10 dead defrex corpses inside the cargo hold. That
Brushed
might
out
not
of
be
the door.
there might be some questions that we don't want to answer.
Yes, thank you for doing this. Do you want to tour the place? I'd love to show you this new barn. And then we can head on over to the ranch and settle up.
That's great. Yeah. Trix is like getting Flimsy to shut the doors.
Yeah, it was just like, all right, yes, we'd love a tour, even though, like, she's exhausted.
She's exhausted. Oh, dear. Poor Yayla.
What are the, if you wanted to maybe keep one of these wee beasties, what would be the cost to, friendly service folk like ourselves who've done the delivery?
I mean, it depends on what age you're looking at taking. Out of character for a moment, it will be, the credit equivalent of whatever level defrex that you want up until level 3, based on the companion rules that Trix was talking about earlier.
Hey.
What did what was it, Mrs. Spuds?
Spudsy.
Level would be?
It's pricey for a defrex.
Oh, is it? Okay. Never mind then. It was more if we can wrangle a freebie for Jahir to ride, then that's a thing. But if it's
Didn't we have young ones, like pups? I'm sure the one we rescued had a litter, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was a litter of 9. And they'd probably be slightly cheaper. Not sure how that works out, because usually young animals are more expensive, and then it goes. Because this is Starfinder, it's kind of based on level, so the older math. I mean, if you want, we can settle that up while we're giving you your payment. But yes, and they go over to this barn and slide open these double doors. It's a metallic building, and it's all it's still fairly polished metal flooring. But you do notice that there's a few scratches here and there, as well as these individual stalls. And you can see probably about 6 stalls. A wash tub off to one side, and it's new, newish. Maybe it's been refurbed for something else. And could everybody make me perception checks?
By the way, you're looking at about 1,200 for a level 3 defrex.
16 from Flimsy.
13.
And as he's showing you the Skidamander, his arms are going everywhere as he's talking about everything at once, and it's like, and we have some stalls over there for mothers and the birthing of young, and there's some wash stations at the back, and towards the back of the barn there is a secondary door, and as he's talking, you see one of the doors begin to slide open. And in that gap is this mauled tentacle that seems to be creeping out from around the sides. The maw is probably about no bigger than your fist. and it's at the end of a long arm-like tentacle. Roll for
Rats.
initiative.
Wow.
Jeez.
Those days.
It's too late
Natural
for
one.
Flimsy to sense motive on the Skittermander, who was really insistent on showing us this barn.
You can make me a sense motive if you wish.
There it is. It's 21.
He seems to be on the level with you.
He was just really excited about this barn.
Just really excited about one.
What about this Atra, though?
You need a secondary sense motive on that.
Is that another round, or can I give that a go?
No, Yeva can do that.
Okay, I'll
Sweet.
take it. $23.
3. Now they also seem to be on the level, although you do recall one of the. Does anybody actually recall, off the top of their heads, why Skitterhaven wanted defrexes?
Yeah.
Care to share for anybody who might not remember? I couldn't see everybody's faces. Did everybody remember?
They're being attacked by horrible monsters. They needed some.
That'll do it.
The Vesk 3's equivalent of vermin. They needed defrex to ward
Yeah.
them off.
Does anybody know what the Vesk 3's equivalent to vermin is?
Guinea
Nine
pigs.
rats.
Well, who's native to Vesk 3?
Desk.
No, Skinner.
No, they're not the natives. Skittermanders are native to Vesk 3. And so what's the vermin of Vesk 3?
Batamanders. Batamanders?
I don't know. No idea.
No?
Those
guess we'll
tentacle
find
things we
out.
met the other week.
Oh, you're gonna find out. You're definitely gonna find out. As soon as I can do a thing. Why would you do that? Thank you.
Bushmanders? No?
Actually, I need to move you guys a little bit further forward. As you see, before you get a chance to do anything, something drops down behind you. And you are come face to face.
With a cat. With
That
a
is belly button.
Very
big
proud looking.
tongue. How Cats the Musical got weird in space.
He's very proud of his appendage.
Yeah. I've got a tummy worm and I'm not afraid to show it.
And oh, I've not shared the map with you. How about I do that?
Would have been so much more suspicious going into the barn if there was a map.
Yeah, of course you would have, which is why I explicitly did not show you a map.
Yeah. I mean, you
how
really
is
wanted us to
everybody's
go in the barn.
visibility, by the way?
I live in darkness.
Yes, enough.
Me too.
1 second, let me.
Far as the eye can
I see there's something I can open right next to me.
Give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second.
Oh yeah, there's a door, something closed. Oh, there's several doors.
Ba, 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 ba.
Oh, we're in the. We're walking
How's
to
that?
the middle of this thing, right? Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
He's
All
tiny.
right.
How large is this creature?
It is a medium. Medium, yes. as it drops to the ground behind you, Yeva, and it lashes out with its feeding tendril
No.
Gross.
for a 21 to hit,
It hits.
and it begins feeding upon you for 8 points of damage.
God. Ah. Ah. She screams.
Let me just double check because there is a thing. The Skitamander's Stridamander's secondary mouth is similar to the Skitaman whelps, but it's more powerful and developed. Feeding tendril is a standard action. The Stridamander can strike a creature of its size or smaller up to 10 feet away with the tendril. In addition to dealing damage, if the Stridamander hits targets, KAC +4, it grapples target and pulls it adjacent. I'm going to assume that's only if it's equivalent size or smaller. It can't do that to Yeva.
Can't grapple me, bitch.
All right. Did you all roll for initiatives? Did that happen?
We did.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. Top of round 1 is Trix.
Where is our Skitamander and Patra companion?
They are just in front of you.
This here is a door, like
Yes,
a
it
stable
is.
door. Is
Yeah.
there any? I assume it's empty.
You can assume all you want.
They've been showing us around though, right? Would we?
Yeah.
Would we know it was empty? If they showed us this corridor, this was the worst tour I've ever been.
Yeah, I mean, these doors have probably been open. They are empty. You know,
Yep, I'm gonna pick up the Skitamander and go. Excuse me, pardon me, apologies, and just toss them into the stable.
So you heard the branches into the safe area. All right, is that your turn?
I'm just gonna then move in front of the door,
Okie dokie.
and that's my turn.
All right, Flimsy, you're up.
Oh, okay. I wasn't quite expecting that. Flimsy, we'll see this one having comes through the door and target. Yeah, target exactly. And we'll touch his eye, and his rune will activate. Target selected, and point their excavation laser towards it. Like, I hope this isn't one of your creatures. It's giving me the heebie-jeebies. Take a shot at it.
Oh, they're definitely evil.
For 17 to hit.
17 will indeed hit.
Oof, minimum damage. 4 damage.
There's a bonus in it if you can take care of them.
Working on it.
Agreed. We wouldn't have done it otherwise.
All right, and now that it's all like latched onto Yether with this feeding tendril, it's going to take this archaic obsidian spear that it's got and start stabbing at Yether
Great.
for a 26 to hit.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't look like it should hurt this much. It's an archaic weapon, which, by the way, I think you get a bonus to your AC,
Mm-hmm.
or is it damage resistance?
I think it's AC.
It's AC, but yeah,
26 is still gonna hit.
yeah, 26 is going to hit, and it doesn't look like it should be doing this much damage. But as it like uses all of its muscles to jab it in you and jar it around, you take 12 points of damage.
As she cries out in pain and just kind of like maybe grabs the spear for a moment that's in her, she's going to use her paradigm shift prevent wounds.
Just a clarification on the archaic, it actually means it deals 5 fewer points of damage.
Oh, do you think that's built in already?
No, it doesn't look to be built in.
Okay, so it should heal 5 of my wounds.
Yes, you want to heal up 5 of your wounds.
Oh, perfect. Okay. I'm still going to use it because I'm out of fatigue. otherwise, but and she's gonna prevent 2 points of that damage.
Nice.
Okay.
All right. And okay. Next up is this other one. What's my movement speed? It's gonna move up to Trix.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm only 30 feet away.
It's gonna try to lash at you and grapple you with its feeding tendril for a 21.
That'll hit.
I forgot to target you. Did that beat your KAC +4?
Yes.
All right. For 8 points of damage, and you are now grappled. Yep. All right. Do we remember what grapple does?
Nothing
I'll
good.
look it up.
You cannot move, you cannot take two-handed actions, you take a -2 penalty to your AC, most attack rolls, reflex saving throws, initiative checks, dex-based skill, and ability checks. You cannot make attacks of opportunity.
Grappled is terrible for me.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
It
I didn't
is.
know about the two-handed thing. I've don't think I've picked up on that before.
Yeah, it's... There's a lot of weapons that aren't, not many weapons in Starfinder are actually two-handed. Most people tend to favor one-handed and then keep the other hand free, so it doesn't come up that often, but no, two-handed. Jahir, you are up.
Jahir's going to be torn between helping Yeva or Trix, but seeing that Trix is grappled, that's going to be the deciding factor. He is going to bring out his rail cannon. This doesn't do splash damage, does it?
No.
No, so he's going to bring out the rail cannon and target Strider 6 that's grappling Trix and take a shot. That is a natural 20 for a 24.
Boom. Yeah, that hits.
And the damage is... I've missed it long. Is 11.
11, and also you can see where this rail round has basically pierced through it. It is just gushing and dripping with blood. It looks to be bleeding.
I've had a bad day, and you're making it worse.
Is there anything else you would like to do on your turn?
I'm just going to start walking up to it as well, if that's alright.
Yep.
I'm asking his permission as I've just shot it with a railgun.
May I join you?
All right, Yeva, you are up.
So I'm not grappled.
You are not grappled. You're too big to be grappled.
Let's see. I think I'll just take a 5-foot step. I'm kind of. Can I start here since I'm a little off of the grids?
Yes.
Okay, then I'll take a 5-foot step into this stall, so I can get
All
away a
right.
guarded step. Is this thing still attached to me? It's just not grappled.
No.
Okay.
It's not grappled, and the moment that you move away, it detaches.
Oh, so she's like, "Ugh," and she kind of like looks at the wound on her, that like maybe kind of like isn't there anymore because it's just of her paradigm shift, and she's just in stamina points. She like looks up, and her eyes kind of like turn this iridescent, and she opens up a portal and is gonna cast what's that spell called? Puncture Veil on Stratermander 14. And this portal opens up into a world full of just these claws reach out and like stab into it. Very Freddy Krueger-esque. Oh, I just do damage, that's right. 4 points of damage, and it's got bleeding 1.
Nice. All right. For 2 rounds, isn't it?
I think so.
Bleeding 1?
Bleeding 1.
Right. Okie dokie, and is that you done?
That is it for 3 rounds.
For 3 rounds, okay. So 3 rounds, and it just on its round, which is 13. Okie dokie. And Trix, you're up.
As the Stridamander is reeling from the puncture holes that Jahir caused with his rail cannon, she's going to try and use that moment to escape the grapple.
Okie dokie, make me an acrobatics.
It's an acrobatics. The DC is 10 plus the grappler's KAC. So a 14 is not going to do it.
No. You're looking at a little bit higher on that one.
Only slightly.
All right. Is there anything else you would like to do?
Thematically kick it in the gut.
Okay.
Like, get up!
You flavor kick it in the gut. As you can hear, this noise that you've been hearing for the last 2 days, as a guttural growl of a defrex comes from out the field and sounds like it's getting a lot louder as it bursts through the door. This defrex, which you recognize as having burn wounds along its lower limbs and up onto its belly, bursts through the door.
Oh, it's so cute.
And just starts clawing at the Stridamander.
Mama Defrex to the rescue.
It's the one we
For a
saved.
23 to hit. And terrible damage of a 17.
So terrible.
It's so terrible because it's 2d6 and I rolled a 1 and a 2.
Oh, man.
You can re-roll again if you want.
No, I know. I'm good, thanks. I'm good. All right, Flimsy, you're up.
Flimsy, seeing Jahir charging towards this other one, will rotate around to face this thing behind it that was chasing Giva before realizing that this Defrex has come barreling in, but it's still going to try and lock onto it with his rune once more and take another shot, reload.
You don't
the
have to
excavation
lock
laser.
on every turn, by the way. It's just
Different
continue.
target.
All right, okay. I forgot you'd switched.
Reload the excavation laser and try and take a blast at it without trying very carefully not to further the burn wounds on this other creature. One. There we go. Oof. It's 9 to hit.
Yep, as you're trying to avoid the defrex out deep, you're sort of like scoring up the floor. At least you don't have to buff this one out.
I need a new weapon. just throwing everything everywhere I go.
All right, Stridamander 14 is going to basically lash out with a bite and a feeding tendril at this defrex that has just rocked up in a moment of panic and misses with the bite and hits with the feeding tendril. Again, it's too large for it to really grapple and lock on, but it has managed to take 8 points of damage on a hit for 22 out of this defrex. Over to Stridamander 6, who takes a couple of points of bleed damage. I don't know why a dice got rolled. Oh no, the dice did have to get rolled on that one. Did the one take bleed?
I don't think so.
No, he did.
From wounded to
did it.
heavy.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a line up above where it's flipped to its turn and it's 1 point damage to Stridamander 14.
It's officially a blood barn.
What's Striderman 6 gonna do?
Politely leave.
Let's roll a stand. It's going to go after tasty tricks.
It's all the caffeine.
It's going to go with the feeding tendril and maintain that grapple if it can. 21.
Yep, and the grapple is maintained.
Okay. And also it is going to have 10 points of damage, and it's
Ooh.
also going to try and take a bite out of you for a 22 to hit.
Yep.
I'm going to reduce this damage by 5. No, this is a bite. It doesn't get reduced. Sorry, I was thinking of the archaic spear, but nope. This is just going to take a chunk out of you for 10 points of damage.
Oh.
Yeesh.
I'm gonna reach out and just like move the air around them so that I can at least try and prevent some of that damage.
Yeah, you can just see the blood like soaking through the armor where it's bitten.
Take away 2 points of that damage.
Thank you.
All right, and now it is over to Jahira.
Jahir is going to switch to the long clear sword, as he's running towards him, and just literally just try and slice down between Trix and the Strider Manta, getting whatever arms and tentacles he can out of the way. Yeah, for a natural 1 for an 8.
The dice giveth and the dice taketh away. Unfortunately, the blood of this Strider Manta is still profusely bleeding out of it. It just makes it difficult to get some kind of traction with the blade, and it just slides clean off.
Can I sort of interject between them as a move thing? Or?
Not
Why not?
really. You'd have to be barging them out of the way as an action.
Okay, fair enough.
Yevitter, you are up.
Yeva is going to focus her attention on the more healthy Stratermander, who is not at all not dealing with Mama Defrex, and will cast Puncture Veil as a full action. From like flanking it on the left and right of this creature, these Freddy Krueger claws just come out and like slide into it, not like slashing, but like piercing into its body. And it takes 5 points of damage and has bleed 2 for 3 rounds.
Yep. All right, I programmed that one in. It's doing a lot of bleeding, and that's for sure.
The blood barn. It's a bloodbath.
Oh,
blood
Eva.
barn.
You have to do that. I was looking right at it.
All right, Trix, you are up.
Trix is going to try and escape the grapple again.
Okie dokie. Oh
Uh,
my word! Oh wait, that didn't take.
wait,
that
no.
didn't take. It doesn't count.
Just gonna move. Oh no, there we go.
Oh, there
Oh,
it
no.
is.
A couple
It's
minutes
fine, we
already.
can-
60.
It was not that kind.
It's like,
It froze on
spend-
stream, folks, and it was like it rolled a 4 and then just like stayed there, but didn't appear in the text box, and it's like that didn't count, and it's like no, it then eventually resolved. I'm afraid you're still grappled.
Everything's under control.
Are you done?
Yeah.
All right, Defrex Juvenile is going to make a couple of attacks against the Stridermander because I think it's got the upper hand here. It's a 19 on the dice for a 32
Wow.
as it rakes into it once, and it is dying. It was going to do a full round attack, so it's just going to rake into it again, just absolutely tearing it to pieces before it finishes and kind of looks up the hallway at the other one. Slightly concerned that Trix is in the way, but I don't think Trix gets much of a say in the matter. Flimsy,
it!
you're up.
And he like reloads his excavation laser and points it back towards the one fighting the defrex. It's getting mauled to pieces, spectral arms coming and ripping it apart from different dimensions. Oh, I think they've got that. I'm gonna go over this way and not look at that anymore. I'm gonna come over here and take a shot at this one if possible.
All right, you move up.
No +1 this time. I was going to.
I think you might get a +1 from Jahir.
Yeah, from
Oh, I do.
You do get a +1 from Jahir.
Forever +1, and try and excavate this Stridamander. Sorry, here we go.
I keep making the same mistake. I keep wanting to call them Skidamanders.
Well,
Flimsy, you are terrible with that gun. Stop it.
It's my best gun.
All right. The thing bleeds. It bleeds a lot for a total of 6 points of damage. But it is going to continue to try to devour Trix with a bite. On a 24 to hit.
Mm-hmm.
And Trix goes down with 11 points of damage.
Right in the jugular.
You had 8 hit points, I believe.
No, I think I had slightly more, but I don't remember.
Yeah, it doesn't very clearly tell me. I'm pretty sure you had 8 off the top of my head, but anyway. And then the feeding tendril cell like whips back around and it starts looking for a new prey. Jahir, you are up.
Jahir is going to see Trix fall and just go full rage mode. And he's just going to get his battle glove and literally just try and smash his head through the nearest wall or door frame and any kind of a box that's on the he's just in red and he's going for it. Yeah. For a 22.
22 will do it.
And
That is a 10.
10 points of damage.
One on the dice.
dice.
So 1 on the dice, 10 points of damage, folks. Jahir in full mode.
All right, is that Jahir done?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
All right, Yeva, you are up.
Yeva's gonna stay where she is, draw her laser pistol, and her cylindrical lens pistol, and take a shot.
Oh, such a tease.
12 for a miss.
12 and a miss. Next up is Trix. You are unconscious, prone, and dying. What do you wish to do?
Stabilize. Thank you very much.
All right. And seeing Trix go down, this thing, this defrex just comes bounding in. He absolutely goes to stand over Trix and just starts tearing into this other Skidamander. This is probably it, folks. Yeah, it's a 35 to hit. And just rends it completely apart.
No.
Dead.
Mama D.
Mama D, well done.
You are standing on Trix though.
And then, it's all like, now that the threat is over, it does, it's all like, move off of Trix. It didn't squat down and sit on you or anything. It was just
Lie
stood
down.
up.
Mama D will save you. Lie down on top of you.
Give her a belly rubs.
Protect it like a baby chick.
Wish it into oblivion. And you are out of combat.
Oh.
Well,
It's a
that
Trix
was-
who's unconscious.
oh.
Not my best luck.
Are you okay? Is somebody taking care of Trix?
Yes. if we've got any thingies. Does a medicine check do the trick?
Our medicine check will help stabilize.
They're
But
already,
I'm already stable.
I don't have
okay.
any healing serums.
Oh, I do. I
Trix
have one.
does.
I will stab Trix.
I mean, with all of this discussion, Trix, you could have stayed in the fight at this rate.
Yeah, I was waiting for an opportunity to say, "Can I stay in the fight?"
Oh, okay, cool. No worries.
Oh, they're awake. Trix, you're okay.
Oof. It's always the neck. You know, it's never like the gut or somewhere cool. It's the neck.
The defect's like just filling half of your vision as you wake up, I guess. Like looking over you.
Oh. Just grabby hands and she just ruffles its face.
Well, that was certainly interesting. I didn't expect that kind of reaction out of whatever was terrorizing us. You look awful. No offense.
Harming. This is it's called battle glam. It's like a mix between like rogue, like space 3080s mixed with like gore.
Well, unless you've got somewhere very important to be, I do think that I should insist that you stay here at Skidder Ranch until you are, well, better. If you're all willing to stay, we'll finalize the trade in the morning.
No more barns to show us or anything, no?
No, we'll get back to the ranch and have your friends looked at there. We do have medical staff, on hand for, well, tramplings happen occasionally. But we'll see that you're well tended to, and you can stay in the main house, free of charge, of course, until you're ready to leave.
I think this singed Defrex needs some special attention as well.
Yes, we'll get the veterinarians out here and take stock of, well, the stock.
Very generous of you, thank you. It's been a long trip, and I feel like we could do with a rest.
Looking
One of
forward
those
to a
days.
nice country breakfast in the morning.
Yes, everything will be provided.
Trix is just poking the open wounds like, ow. Ow. Ow.
You might want to get that sterilized before you do that, but I mean, you do you. And with that, we are going to draw this episode to a close. Congratulations, folks. You're level 4.
Yes!
Hey!
Oh, that was a bad day at the office.
So yeah,
That was great.
everybody will be leveling up over the course of the week. Thank you for joining us this evening. Everybody have fun?
Yeah.
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 Good fun.
Oh, we did so much.
Mm.
I took 31 points of damage from that airlock, that null stuff. I'll walk it off. I'm a professional. I got two nat 20s though.
Yeah, nat 1 then a nat 20. Or was it the way around? Sorry.
Nat 20,
Nat
nat
20
1.
and then nat 1.
I mean, that thing was dead anyway. To stop bleeding, it needs to make a medicine check. And here's a hint: wild animals are not skilled at medicine checks.
Is it an animal? It had a spear and stuff.
Yeah, it was primitive.
I
Yeah.
think it has animalistic tendon. I'm trying to remember now. Basically, the stridemander is what happens to skidamanders when they don't.
Help people.
Damn, really? They grow
No,
medium-sized?
sorry. I'm thinking of completely different things. Stridemancers are an evolutionary cousin of the more numerous Skitomanders. A planet-wide disaster millions of years ago split the common ancestors of both species into two populations. One population remained on the planet's devastated surface and evolved into Skitomanders. The other population retreated to the planet's extensive cave system, becoming larger, faster, and increasingly vicious as they competed for dwindling food supplies. Eventually, the Stridemanders re-emerged on the surface, and the two populations met once again, and the Skitomanders became prey.
They're like the troglodytes of Dusk 3.
Yeah. But they are... What are they? What do they get classified? They're a monstrous humanoid, not a beast, but they are very bestial in behavior.
We get a nice break at the ranch though, which is to level up, which is good.
Yep, level up. You don't have any work outstanding at the moment, so it's a nice place to rest and level up. We'll be taking care of the level up off at the air. We'll probably start next session with a bit of a summary for everybody to let people know what they got for their level ups. But as always, I have been and will continue to be Karen Russmore. You can find me here every Monday, 7:30 p.m. British time. You can also find me over on my own channel, which is twitch.tv/Karen Russmore, where I play a variety of games and talk about a lot of different things, role-playing games included. Flimsy.
Hello, I'm JTation64. You can find me on Thursday evenings at 9 p.m. playing No Man's Sky, as we are building a new civilization on planet Sonic. And also in the mornings playing Red Dead Redemption 2 on Saturdays, 9:30 a.m. UK time, as we are rounding out some of the challenges of the story mode, with some help from chat to be the bad man.
Hi everyone, I am Crifu Bernal. You can find me online at Crifu Bernal or at twitch.tv/Crifu Bernal. If you enjoyed the session today, I highly recommend checking out Manapot's calendar for future streams and our Discord for all things Manapot. It's a pretty busy week here at Manapot. Of course, Tuesday will be Tuesday U.S. time. You'll see the Flights of Fandom group, and maybe you'll even see a U.S. happy hour on Wednesday. But if you're here in GMT Plus, we've got some great streams coming up this weekend. On Friday, we have our monthly EU happy hour, in which I'll be playing Pathfinder 2nd Edition with some folks from across the EU. We've got some Brits, of course, but we'll have someone in the Netherlands and someone in Spain as well. And then on Sunday, I'll be back with the return of the Book of Bertheda as we come to a very special episode and we meet the Star Sailors of the Pact Worlds. It should be pretty sweet.
Tricks?
I'm Crit Commissions. I do artsy things across various social media platforms, so check it out.
And Yahira.
I'm Retro Ted. I normally stream Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays at 7:30 GMT. We are playing Icewind Dale, and we've discovered the dwarves weren't quite as evil as we thought they might be, and now we think it's the trolls that caused everything.
All right, and with that, I hope everybody in the audience had fun this evening, and hope to see you all next time. Oh, stick around for the raid, but until next week, taddy bye.
Bye. Bye.